Dilsaber, and I had been member of Kansas Press Women since 1960. But I was a member of Wichita Press Women 4 years before that, before Kansas came back into the national organization. I think that I have been rewarded greatly over the years by staying involved with the organization, because I not only have had the opportunity to grow, including in recent years after retirement, but also to stay involved with the professional people. And I'm going back to what B. Douglas told me when I was a sports reporter, when she said, Donna, you need to stay involved with professional women, because at this point, that's the only way you're going to build a resume. And she was so accurate. So as I watch young women today building a resume, I wonder where they're getting their association with other professional people, especially with successful women. And I know that there are organizations where there are a lot of men and women, and certainly I had enough men mentors. But there's something about being able to share your experiences with other women that quite a few professional men never have.
Memories of KPC. When we had conferences, at Colby, at Pittsburgh, at Liberal, and there was always several of us from the Wichita area who traveled together, and that traveling together and going places was so great. Phyllis Spade knew every back road in the state. I saw more cool things in Kansas traveling with Phyllis Spade. That's one of my treasured memories.
It's always been a very positive experience making connections with other people in the organization, and also getting to have some mentoring relationships develop, which has been very, very beneficial, as well as just making additional contacts across the state. Probably the two things that I've gained most from it have been the annual meetings that I've been able to attend, the speakers and the breadth of experience that is shared there. And then also the contest, which for many years was coordinated by Becky Funke, and receiving the feedback from other professionals across the United States about the content of our work, and some constructive feedback on things we might want to consider for improvement.
Memories, lots of things. We went to Liberal and to the Air Museum and had lunch at the Air Museum. That was a fun one. It was April and about 500 degrees. What else?
I've stayed involved and connected with this organization, canceling memberships to some others. First and foremost, because I think it is very important that we have the respect and professional development all the time. And I think this organization does an excellent job of that. Also, I think we need a diversity, and that's something that I try to focus on with our group. I think that we should be reflective of our society, as complex as it is right now, and also make sure that we don't have those glass ceilings out there in the world. We need to have the diversity in our newsrooms, in our conference rooms, in those budget sessions, so that we do the best to have fair, accurate reporting and coverage of any news topic.
I joined because a couple of pretty influential women twisted my arm. Phyllis Spade and Kaylin Larson. I'm not sure how. I met Kaylin through her work at the Red Cross. I was working in a weekly paper out in western Sedgwick County, west of Wichita, and she twisted my arm and introduced me to Phyllis and twisted my arm some more. And they got me to come to a couple of Wichita meetings, and the state conference came up in Great Bend, and Phyllis said, "Hey, I'm going to Great Bend for the state conference. Wouldn't you like to go?" And that started a very long friendship because Phyllis was a great travel companion. And at that time, we were having our conferences in all corners of the state. But we went to our first conference, the first conference I went to. We got there a little late, so we walked in kind of in the middle of the banquet, and there weren't very many tables, and there were only singles. So here I am, knowing nobody except Phyllis, and she seats me between Sharon Damascus and Cecilia Green. I had a riot. And Donna Dilsaver was presenting the awards. It was contest awards, and Donna Dilsaver was presenting the awards. Made it a super party atmosphere, very, a real celebration, and I was hooked.
Well, this goes back to Sharon Iorio, who was the associate dean in my office many years ago. She encouraged me to be involved in both Kpc and the Public Relations Society of America. And so I got involved with both organizations, and KPC was more in line with what I was doing at the time. Sharon is who got me in, and Sharon had also, I don't know if she had been involved at the officer level, but Sharon had also been involved with contest entries, and in fact had one year received a first place for her book on Mennonites. So Sharon was also a good push to get in and a good mentor initially.
Here, and I was inspired by the national what this organization does, because it gave a chance for us to enter contests and get some recognition from our peers, other competitors, and be proud and show that to family and all what we did. And that was very important to me because I was a new young reporter, and a lot of times you always got the superstars and the elite on the staff, and the company will always promote and push them. Well, with this organization, anybody could join. You paid your dues, met the deadlines, and so I entered some of my reporting that I did for the Ledger Star, and I was real excited about that and placed. And at that time, the companies paid your memberships and dues and supported you, and that was quite a financial boost for us. And so I hate that strength isn't there for many companies for us anymore, because it's a great privilege and honor for us to get awards and recognition for any company, newspaper, media source.
I worked as a newspaper reporter out of college, when I was just out of college for a few years, in Garden City and Emporia. I actually joined KPC because I met Gwen in Emporia. She was my boss, and she kept talking about this organization, and I just brushed her off, said, oh, that's not important. But I did finally join a couple years ago, and I'm so glad that I did. Having lived kind of all over the state has been really helpful, because I know people in Wichita. If I need a favor in Wichita, all I have to do is email or pick up the phone and say, hey, I need help. If I need something in Emporia, I can call Gwen. Know people in Kansas City if I need something from them. I think the people who are part of this organization are always willing to help each other out, which I've appreciated. And I don't think anyone has ever really told me no when I have a question that I need an answer for right away.
COA is a huge, huge honor. I just cannot say how much it means, to be recognized by your peers. And I can't remember if I can do this. In 2014, I was just coming through, my huge health crisis, and to be honored again by my peers in the state was just, it was such an honor. It means so very much to me. And then to win the national honor, I just, when you get to the national level, I've been to the national conferences. A lot of times there are people who have won huge awards. 1 year, I can remember there was someone who had won a Pulitzer that was a national nominee. So when you get to that level, the talent, the things that people have done with their lives, it just, I don't know how to put into words how important, or how much that meant to me, and particularly at the time in my life that it came. So. I have a naughty story about when I was named the first,
Well, you have to
named
tell
COA in 2002. When I was COA in 2002, at that point, we tried to keep it pretty much a secret until the conference. But right in that time, we had to announce it earlier so that all the preparation for the national nomination could be done. So Colleen Brink, who was COA at that time, surprised me at a Wichita meeting. At that time, I was treasurer of the Wichita organization, and we were meeting at Botanica. And so I always was out front greeting people, and always came into the meeting just as it was starting, and they were doing introductions. And I walked in, and Colleen said, "Oh, here's Becky. Becky, introduce yourself." And I said, "I'm Becky Funke, work at Active Aging." And she says, "And I have something else to say. Becky is our new COA." And I was kind of, what? And Lou Heldman was the guest speaker at that time. And at that time, the Eagle was publishing a monthly publication called Active Age. And I was editor of Active Aging. And Lou got up to make his speech, and he said, "Becky, congratulations so much, but you need to take that award and go somewhere else, because the Eagle is going to be, the Eagle is going to run your publication out of business." And we laughed, but Active Age is still here. Active Life is gone and has been gone for a long time. But that's my Lou Heldman and COA story. But
Organization.
First of all, the mentoring benefits, also making connections for possible job opportunities, also just a professional development for them. So,
Any other questions you can think of? Anything else that you want to add?
just that Becky Funke did a fantastic job for several years as our contest coordinator. So did the Dave Bergmeyer, and I can't remember who has been between.
Les Anderson and Wilma did it one time.
Les Anderson, Wilma.
Les,
No, who was the one who put it on electronically? Who did?
Is it Ginny?
No, it wasn't Jenny. Who was it when we first went?
yeah, who was it?
What's her name?
Gail Donaldson.
Gail
Yeah.
Donaldson. Okay, so this is the part we'll use. I think recognition needs to be given to Becky Funke, Gail Donaldson, Dave Bergmeyer, Wilma Moore Black, Les Anderson for the work they did with the contest over the years, and bringing us more into professional development on that level.
Anything else that you'd like to add?
It's a great organization. Glad to be a part of it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay. Well, we've got to get a better hold on technology and how technology is going to continue to change. I think, there's so many things now that are available, like Periscope, which was used when the, I think it was the U.S. House was closed down, but yet there was a sit-in on the House floor by the Democrats, and people got out their Periscopes and their Facebook Live and were broadcasting what was going on the floor of the House. So that, things like that, we've really got to embrace and learn how to better integrate with our work. So the technology aspect, the social media aspect, and we have to be prepared for what we don't know is coming in communication. Is video going to be, live video going to be the future for what we do rather than print? I hope not, because I'm a print person. But I think we need to just be prepared for things that we don't know are going to happen, which is going to require a broad skill set among all of us. And also encouraging more of the younger folks to join and become involved.
Oh, that's hard, because it has changed so much, and it is evolving. And our own meetings, doing the online meetings and things like that. I think that's something that we need as communicators to embrace and perhaps make more use of.
Jerks. Sorry.
No. I need to learn how to tune into things like TED Talks and things like that, because I think that's how we can continue to make our organization vital and useful to people. Because I do think, unfortunately, I kind of think the model of trying to get people to come to multiple meetings is going to get more and more challenging. And there's so much diversity. There's so much more about communications. You can't just be just a writer anymore. You're not going to find a job as just a writer. You need to be able to do video. You need to know how to take good pictures with your cell phone and use your cell phone to shoot video. That just seems so foreign to me. But I think that's what we have to do. But we also have to nurture, the future. We have to bring young people in and nurture.
Anything else that you want to add?
You've done good.
Anything else that you can think of to add?
Not that I can think. Yeah, I could go on forever. I can't really think of
Unless
anything.
you think of something as you sit down. We'll get Cheryl.
Okay. Yeah. Let me listen to Cheryl. And
Growth and really intense networking is needed for our organization to expand. We talk about the youth, but I think all of us have a lot of little kid and youth still in us, and we've just got to kind of go back and think, what did it take for me to get involved? Why should I give that commitment, give back? We need to just volunteer and serve our own organizations. And I have a friend that uses this formula, H1B1. That's help one and bring one along the way. And I truly believe in that, because if you let them know it's as easy as here it is spelled out, and then work with you, co-directors, co-assistants, co-VPs, so the person gets a little bit of hands-on experience and they're not so afraid to do the job. It's just that commitment. We're all volunteers. These are great positions that we get professional training in, how to run an organization. And I think that if we can get the youth more involved and committed to knowing the importance of those contests, networking, and professional development, which is needed, ongoing all the time, whether your company provides it or not, you should do that just as a professional who wants to always improve and do better.
I thought about that a lot when I was driving here this morning. We're shooting this interview in the Wichita State campus. I was a student here 13 years ago, and both technology and this campus have completely changed. like Wilma found out this morning, I didn't even know my way around the campus this morning. It changed that much. So to think of what the future of this profession will look like 25 years from now, I have no idea, because I think it will totally change. I'm so proud to be the president of Kansas Professional Communicators this year on our 75th anniversary.
Wichita is host to the 2016 National Federation of Press Women's National Conference.
We're so glad you're here.